Radiant team ban.
Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 and 9, facing off against Flash Esports on day 4 of G1 League group stage action. In game 1, we saw a very dominating performance by Flash Esports. It all starts for this team, usually with eweahhh, occasionally with chaos if you play something like a Pudge, but in that game, it was the eweahhh show. Shut down Shaitan early and often, Queen of Pain against Shadow Fiend, and 9 went for the offensive tri-lane, but once your Shadow Fiend starts dying, the support's forced to rotate away, and it put too much pressure on that Shadow Fiend, and the tri-lane then started to crumble and collapse, and Bounty Hunter Gold, Track Gold came into play. A few Aegises later, Flash Esports take game 1. Just a dominating performance from start to finish, and like I was saying at the beginning of this cast, this is a team many people have not heard of, have not seen play before, especially if you're from the West, if you're not familiar with sort of Asian Dota and the recent up-and-coming teams. But Flash may be the best new up-and-coming team. In fact, I would say they are. Out of all the teams that are merging, that have not been established, that are sort of coming into their own, they're a team that can give all but the very best a strong challenge. They almost beat Orange, couldn't quite do it. Not sure they can take, they're not going to be able to probably take a game off of a team like IG, but the next level of teams, they can definitely threaten them. And it's a team that continues to improve from game to game, showing a lot of poise, a lot of coordination. They play a very interesting style. It's aggressive, but it's not suicidally aggressive. They pick these heroes like the Queen of Pain, like the Bounty Hunter, who can set up kills and reward your team for getting them. But at the same time, they're not fully committed to ganking. They still get the Naga. They still farm a decent amount. Earthshaker at a 20-minute Blink Dagger. Just a very balanced approach to the game, and it worked out beautifully in game 1. In game 2, what are we going to see for our bans? So far, Naga Siren is banned out by Flash. They'll take it for themselves in game 1. But in this particular case, they banned it out, so they have something else in mind, and I'm curious to see what this will be. Templar Assassin is in the pool, Invoker is in the pool, Queen of Pain is in the pool. A lot of those strong solo heroes, Prophet as well. And of course there's a Bounty Hunter in the pool, who to me is quickly becoming first pick material in any scene. Really in any scene, and especially in this one, where these Southeast Asian teams play aggressively, constantly trading kills, going for the kills. Track Gold allows you to trade favorably. They ban out the Prophet, that leaves a lot of the strong solo heroes in the pool, and expect to see Flash go for something along those lines. As for N9, they're trying different things with this lineup. We haven't really seen Godot on one of his signature jungle heroes. We haven't seen him play in the Chen. Of course, Chen, not the same hero he was in the previous patch, just having much more mana dependency. It's a Bat Rider, first pick for Flash Esports. They let N9 have it last game. N9, it didn't work for them at all, running it as a tri-lane farming hero. And Flash are going to show N9 how it's done, or at least that's what they're saying to them with this Bat Rider first pick. It really discourages the Templar Assassin pick if N9 were thinking about that. Probably not going to go for it now. Even getting the other strong souls like the Invoker, the Queen of Pain, it's not obvious that those will be the way to go in this game.
10 seconds remaining.
Because Bat Rider is a hero that can pretty much win a solo lane or at least break even against anyone. But this response from N9, Rubik is also in the pool, a hero that has... I actually don't remember if he was banned in the last game, but we didn't see him last game. We are going to see him here, and I think more importantly, they get the Bounty Hunter. So N9 get the hero that, in the end, that's always the big difference maker in these games where teams start racking up kills. It's the gold they get. They get so much extra gold onto every hero, and they had enough mobility by the end of the game that it was always 3, 4, 5 heroes involved, getting track gold, getting a ton of experience as well. Now, Bounty Hunter is weak in the laning stage. He's not a strong solo hero. He can be shut down a bit. It's just a question of how much Flash want to devote to shutting him down.
Reserve time.
We've seen the Chinese teams. We saw IG started with a pair of Sentry Wards for YYF when he was Windrunner. Or no, was it 4 YYF? Yeah, I think it was 4 YYF when he was Windrunner, playing against a Bounty Hunter. And he got a first blood very early. And that came because he had Sentry Wards. He just completely dominated the lane. Controlled it beautifully.
Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
So that's an option. If you get Sentry Wards, you have a strong solo hero. That is one way to try and shut him down. Twin-Headed Dragon, the follow-up for Flash. The flavor of the month as far as support heroes goes. Gives you tons of AoE, great initiation. Gives Rubik some nice spells to steal, I will say that much. And I'm curious to see how N9 run this Rubik. Will this be a solo? Will this be a farmer?
Dire team
And the
ban.
Batrider pick almost to set up the Templar Assassin, starting with Batrider to discourage N9 from taking it, and also so that when they take TA, they know it can't easily be countered. A smart way to construct your draft on the part of Flash. Best way to prevent your opponents from countering a hero, if you can't ban that counter, which is hard to do in this version, because you only have 2 bans before the first stage of picks begins, is just protect it by picking the counter,
10
and that's what
seconds
Flash do.
remaining.
They also got a hero that's strong, very strong in his own right in the Batrider.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
How to N9 round this out for the first stage of the draft? They have the lineup that doesn't. They have track to deal with TA. It's helpful because it gives you that move speed. You can kind of negate the power of the traps. You also get the vision on her. But they don't really have much lockdown. It's just telekinesis and then whatever this Rubik can steal. Do you think about a Tide Hunter here? That to me, that's the pick that N9 should probably be looking towards. A strong team fight initiator, probably the Tide. And a hero that's not that farm dependent, and it leaves them open for the second stage of the draft. But they opt for the strong
Radiant
solo, so this will
team
most
ban.
likely be the matchup they try to go for. Is Pain against the Templar Assassin. We've seen it go both ways. We've seen Queen of Pains win this matchup. We've seen Templar Assassins win it. Generally, TA seems to have a better time farming, but Queen of Pain, a little bit easier to control the runes. And then the X factor is the ganks from the supports. Who's going to roam into the lane? Who's going to look to set something up? Who's going to be able to deny the runes? Because that's one way to help out the TA or the Queen of Pain. Camp the runes for your team, deny them to the enemy solo. But on paper, it's a fairly even matchup. Not a clear
10
victory for either hero.
remaining.
Enigma the ban now. So N9 went
Dire
for it last
team
game.
ban.
And with the Rubik already being picked up, a smart ban, they wouldn't have a great way to cancel the black hole if there's an early BKB. They do have the lasso. That's the one thing that could work for them. Is it an offlane Batrider? That's for Flash, they don't have an offlane hero right now. It looks to be the Templar Assassin mid. It could be the Batrider there. Probably the TA mid, and then the Batrider either as their solo offlane or maybe just abandon that offlane, go to the jungle. The Jakiro supporting the safe lane. For N9, it's a
10
pretty
seconds
open-ended
remaining.
draft. It could be a Queen of Pain farming as the one position in the safe lane. It could be a Rubik solo mid.
Radiant team
Or it
ban.
could be a Queen of Pain solo mid, a Bounty Hunter offlane, and a Rubik supporting the safe lane. So that's really their sets of options at this point. It's pretty open-ended for the stage of the draft. Tide Hunter hero I don't expect to see slip through. Disruptive teamfight heroes Beastmaster is available as well. If they want to run Batrider as a more sort of aggressive hero and give him more farming priority, they could put a mid. They could put the
Dire
Templar
team
Assassin in the
ban.
safe lane, and then they could run Beastmaster or Tide Hunter as their offlane hero. A lot of options for Flash as well. I like this Disruptor ban though. They have a lineup where they want to be tower diving. The Batrider, the Templar Assassin, these are chasing heroes. So Disruptor is the perfect counter to any kind of aggression like that. As soon as a hero dives too far and they try to run away, you glimpse them back in. If they're getting aggressive and you can't fight, if you can't stand against them, you glimpse them back. And either way, it's really gonna
10 seconds remaining.
discourage the Queen of Pain, the Bounty
5
Hunter, from
seconds
diving too much.
remaining. Radiant team ban.
Or, excuse me, the Batrider, the Templar Assassin. Chaos Knight gonna be the ban for N9. Very slow for the second stage of the draft. It's something we've seen a lot of lately. Is teams they'll go through the first set of bans very quickly and perfunctorily. They don't think about them too much. Even the first set of picks usually come out fairly quickly, but it's the second stage of bans, the 6 bans to come out, and then the 4 picks to follow, where there's a lot of deliberation. This is where the lineups are really put together, and there's so many more options as far as now they have both teams have an
10
idea of what
seconds
the other is trying to do, and they have more ways to counter it. Or more bans to counter it
5
with, I should
seconds
say.
remaining.
I really like the shift. I feel like it's more of a chess game in the draft than it used to be.
Reserve
Whereas before,
time.
it's just ban out the 6 strongest heroes that you can think of. For each team banning out the 3 heroes they don't want to deal with, 3 heroes that are just strong, or maybe one respect ban sort of filtering in there. But now it's much more about see what your opponents do and then construct a lineup to counter it. It's a really nice shift, and adds a lot to the drafting stage. So N9, once again, probably looking at another support. If it's a farming Rubik, they're looking at 2. If it's not, they're looking at 1.
Radiant team
And then something to farm in that safe lane. They already have the Queen of Pain and the Bounty Hunter, who should be 2 of their primary farmers. Well, I say a farmer for Bounty Hunter. He's probably not getting much in that suicide lane, but at least getting a lane to himself, most likely. Panda finally... Tidehunter slips through. A hero I really don't think either team wants to deal with right now.
10 seconds
It's
remaining.
I mean, there's 4 heroes that want to be aggressive. You have Batrider, TA, Queen of Pain, and Bounty Hunter, and all of that aggression is heavily countered by having a TP Ravage. And there you go. It's an immediate Tidehunter pick. A little bit surprising to see N9 give this up. Now, of course, if it's a farmy Rubik, there's a lot more potential for an early Force Staff, an early Blink Dagger, and then maybe trying to steal that Ravage.
Venomancer.
But much easier said than done.
Radiant team pick.
A stable support, the choice for N9. One that we haven't seen as much lately because Jakiro has really been stealing the spotlight as of late. But a good hero against the Templar Assassin, probably the next best thing to getting your hands on the Batrider. And we may see that Venomancer just, if TA's not farming the safe lane, if she's mid, just rotate in mid early, try and either get a kill or just harass TA off the lane, delay the bottle, try and just limit her ability to farm. Once Queen of Pain gets a level advantage, or even if you're able to get 1 kill, then the lane gets a lot easier for her. Pudge! It's a KS Pudge! Oh yeah, Pudge. Pudge. That's a cute little... I think they changed the sound effect for that. I like it. But yeah, we're looking at a KS Pudge. So this throws a wrench into what... I guess... Huh. This is interesting. Now, they could run a tri-lane with the Jakiro, the Pudge, and the Tidehunter. And of course, Batrider and Templar Assassin as your 2 solos. So... that's an option. The one downside is going to be that Pudge is a hero that needs levels. You need to max out the hook as quickly as possible. And as far as supports go, the same for the Tide and the Jakiro. As far as other options go, they could run dual lanes perhaps, with Jakiro protecting Batrider in the suicide lane, and then Templar Assassin solo mid, and then a Pudge Tidehunter bottom lane. Now, normally you'd say, oh, that's not a good dual lane, Pudge Tidehunter, and that's true, but you know Bounty Hunter is almost certainly going to be there, in which case you're fine. So Flash may run dual lanes. They're a team that they often do that, and Overlay's already switched, so we're good there. Shaitan is going to be playing an Undying, so it will be a farm prioritized Undying. We're going to see an Undying hopefully get a lot of farm, and a very aggressive pick. A great pick against Pudge. Pudge relying on that strength, having very low armor. Undying steals a lot of strength from Decay, and then can just maul the Pudge down. This is, I don't want to necessarily say it's a Pudge counter, but it can be. It absolutely can be. Interesting draft for both teams. You know, it started off very standard, very stable. A bit boring, perhaps, but they finished with a splash. eweahhh getting his... Oh, it's an eweahhh Pudge. It's not KS. Okay. Well, this is a switch from the last time they ran the hero, but hell, Flash feeling confident. They have 2 Pudge players. They're gonna give it to eweahhh this time. So I was wrong about that, but hey, not often you see a team that has multiple Pudge players. This should be impressive to see. Can eweahhh live up to his game 1 billing? Can he match KS's performance? The last time KS was seen playing Pudge, he went 12-1-9, and he was just absolutely out of control on a rampage. It was like an 18-minute game or something insane along those lines. Anyway, we're going to introduce the players now. We have Shaitan playing that farming Undying, already starting with the Reign of Basilius. Very pushing, aggressive pushing build for him. Godot playing a support Rubik, not going to be getting too much farm, heading towards the top lane. FCFC, the stand-in from Invasion Red, he's playing the Queen of Pain. We have Winter handling that Bounty Hunter. Probably going to head down towards the offlane and risk. Observer Wards and Sentries already picked up. So they're not going to go with the offensive tri-lane. They're not going to go with the dual lanes. They're just going to throw Tide in as their suicide lane solo. It's something the Southeast Asian teams, they don't do it as much as the Europeans. But Flash is a little bit different from your average Southeast Asian team. I think we have seen this from the once before.
30 seconds to battle.
So sort of throwing away the Tide, throwing him to the Wolves. He's not going to do anything against this lane. That is for damn sure. Tide, not a great hero to stop pushes. Can't really approach the creep wave. And we're probably going to see both teams doing a lot of pulling. We may even see that mid lane getting pulled. And in fact, you already see the pings coming out. For Flash, of course, KS on the Pudge. MLG playing the twin-headed dragon. We have Henkiki handling the Bat Rider, who starts with a bottle. Maybe planning to just jungle and let Pudge farm the lane. So not even really a tri-lane for them. DSF, the off-lane Tide. Is he going to sit in the lane with this, or is he going to jungle? He hasn't left the lane yet. Well, we'll find out soon. For the moment, a nice ward here just to make sure that they have an idea if any sort of ganks coming mid. And they want to shut down this TA early. They do not want eweahhh to have the kind of start he had last game with the Queen of Pain. So they're going to throw not only the Queen of Pain mid, but also the Venomancer. This is 2 heroes committed to this lane. And it's DSF just going to jungle. Not even doing some pulling off the bat. Bat Rider's farming the lane. Pudge it's a support pulling Pudge. This you don't see every day, in fact. You don't see it very often at all. And it's something we saw it from IG, just abandoning that suicide lane. Don't even bother leaving a hero there. eweahhh taking lots of damage. Gale, as well as the Shadow Strike ticking through, bringing down those refraction charges. Shadow Strike now back off cooldown. But Gale is on cooldown. They can't really kill him now, but at level 3 or 4, even at level 2 or 3, that's where things get going. Winter gets caught. Do they have an early sentry? What they do? A decent placement, and Winter runs back into it. Firefly coming over the top. Flash are going to strike first. First blood for them. Quickly claimed, and unfortunately Winter just not really showing the kind of positional play that eweahhh exhibited. You really have to be perfect when you're up against such an aggressive lane. And honestly, probably should have taken a page out of eweahh's book. Just tried to pull the lane around this way, or even pull it around this way, rather than actually committing to the lane, rather than trying to challenge the pull. He pays for it, and a quick first blood. Tidehunter, now maybe gonna deward, maybe gonna look to stack the Ancients, rotating over to the other side of the mid lane. In spite of the fact that N9 give up that first blood, not really the biggest deal. It's a bounty hunter, it's a hero that doesn't need that much to get going. He's still gonna get some levels. And they may be able to set up a kill. They may be able to get something going on eweahhh with this third source of damage. That's going to help. DSF did end up dewarding. Nice job by him checking the rune and dewarding simultaneously. Being as efficient with his time as possible. And now Winter. I like this. He's not sitting bottom. I still think he could have maybe pulled the lane, but if they can get this kill, it's totally worth it. Gale just going to barely hit. Sentry Ward drop in tower range. He's going to turn around onto Winter, doing a lot of damage. Not able to bring him down. Winter, eweahhh survives! No, he doesn't. Never mind. One last auto attack. FCFC claiming that kill. Oh boy, if they did not end up getting that, that would have been a bit of a disaster. Refraction was about to cool down, but not able to pop it in the end. Now DSF taking some harassment. Kind of throwing himself into the meat grinder by joining this lane. The weakness of Tide as a support is he's not really a strong defensive hero. He's not an Earthshaker. He's not a hero who can punish those tower dives. If an Earthshaker was there instead of a Tidehunter, that gank is over. If a twin-headed Dragon was there instead of a Tidehunter, that gank was over. But Henkiki, he knows something's up. He's feeling a little bit nervous, and Winter wants these delicious creeps. He really wants to farm these. This will be a big steal for him. He's at least going to get one. But now the Twin-Headed Dragon spots him out. Does still have another Sentry Ward. The Dual Breath also hitting. The Observer Ward getting dropped. Or excuse me, a second Sentry Ward by DSF. So they had multiple ways of getting the vision there. And they pick off Winter again. He just couldn't. You know, it's hard to resist when you see 2 Dark Troll Warlords, level 6 creeps who gives tons of golden experience. It is very difficult not to. It's like if someone puts a delicious piece of pie right in front of your face and you're starving and you love pie and then trying not to eat it. It's pretty much impossible. But sometimes the pie actually has arsenic laced within it, and there was definitely the case. So Henkiki playing the jungle Bat Rider. He got slowed down a little bit by that one creep being stolen, but not the biggest loss for him. Still hitting level 3. Setting up kills, shutting down this bounty hunter. eweahhh Level 4, struggling a bit. Risk has another sentry. They're going to go again. The Gale to start. Shadow Strike to follow. Blinking on forward. A little bit too aggressive, perhaps. Kiting him now, though, and eweahhh just not able to stay in range. Back and forth they go. Finally, they're going to claim this kill, but they are forced. Tries to meld dodge, but there's a sentry ward here. Not able to dodge that last attack. So Templar Assassin and eweahhh being shut down. And the lane we haven't really looked at all is finally being pushed. It's godot aggressively pushing this lane, already hitting 4. DSF a little bit under level because he's been trying to help the middle lane. In comes Shaitan, the angry zombie. Look how much damage he's doing. 2 attacks, 3 attacks. He gets the kill. The tombstone still up for a couple more seconds, and now they're going to look to get a tier 1. So N9, a much better draft, at least in the laning stage. It's working out much better for them. Pudge now starting to get farm in this bottom lane, and now Batrider jungling. So they give the Batrider a level or 2, then they switch it up.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It's something I've talked about before. It's something we've seen teams do in the past. You can start him in the lane just to get him a few levels as Batrider or Bounty Hunter goes down again. Sentry Ward's always here. Flash have been incredibly prepared, and this is exactly what we saw out of IG. When they're shutting down a Bounty Hunter, they start with Sentry Wards. They have them ready to go immediately. They don't let him get to level 6 uncontested. They don't let him gank that middle lane without some heroes being in position. So after a bit of back and forth, we have N9 with still a decent golden experience lead, but it is early. The one thing that you have to worry about is when is Winter going to get 6? He has his boots, but it's already 6 minutes in. We're probably looking at 10 minutes plus before he gets level 6. Unless he's able to magically find a few kills. Until he gets 6, they're not really the best killing lineup. They have some decent gankers, but not amazing. eweahhh posting up in the middle lane. Now he's going to take a Gale as well as the Shadow Strike. Chewing through the refractions, in comes Winter, looking for the kill, but the Meld doing some decent damage, not going to be enough. Hank Key gushing onto Winter, Pudge is here, Tidehunter is here, tons of counter ganking, Flash was ready, and a beautiful hook by KS over the top. Not really KSing that one, not living up to his name, and not living up to the billing in that sense. But Flash just, this time they're not going to let the TA get dove, and eweahhh, in the end, or at least not without getting something good in return. eweahhh in the end still struggling, still level 5, but the rest of the team doing a great job of catching up there. Now your Pudge hitting 6. Already has Urns and an Arcane Boots. He's really farming well. Shaitan got the early tier 1, but he's just farming. He hasn't really done anything beyond getting that tower. And he's farming in an empty lane, so he's not really keeping a hero down in that sense. When are we going to see him group up and push with his team? When are we going to see N9 get more aggressive? They do have a TP, and that could be big. Counter ganking Undying is actually very strong. Does tons of damage. If the tombstone is dropped in the correct location at the right time, is a very good crowd controller through those zombies.
Dire's structures are fortified.
For Flash, it's just all about finding the hero kills now. Even though the TA is behind, they have a Batrider's level 8, they have a Pudge who's got a max hook. And there's a lot of heroes who are prey for these. The Venomancer is food if he gets caught. The Rubik can be food. He's only level 5. godot TPing back to the tier 2. Let's see if KS can get some momentum going. He does see Risk, and Risk must know that he's been spotted. So they have sentries right now. None on the Batrider. A hook. Gonna connect from KS and immediately dismembering. Not in time with the telekinesis. The Ice Path. Not really the best Ice Path. KS going for the TP out. There's no Oh, what a play! There was no way to prevent it. There was no way to prevent it. They have exactly one ability. Oh, so excuse me, they have 2 with the Shriek and Toss that can stop TPs. We may see a lot more of this as the game progresses. Gale, though, onto eweahhh. The tower, or no, the stopping to farm a creep on the part of Winter, and that might cost Risk his life. There's no track just yet. eweahhh gonna get the kill, so at least gets 1, and it takes 3 heroes to bring him down. If that first Janata on the creep had been used on the hero, I believe the Venomancer lives through that, so a bit of a mistake there. I know some people wanted me to check ping, and as is to be expected, it's Singaporean Team Flash. Gonna have better ping to a Singaporean server than these Australians, but nonetheless, Flash really outplaying N9 right now. Just hitting the hooks, finding the kills, and it's an even game. But it's a team for Flash that once the kills start coming, it gets easier to find them. They haven't even used the Ravage yet in a team fight. They haven't gotten a Batrider lasso off, but now they have it available. And they have a blink on him already. Hank Kiki with a blink and the Pudge hook. Multiple forms of long-range initiation could make life a living hell for almost everyone on N9. Undying has left that top lane, and this gives Tidehunter, he's been in that top lane for... He rotated in as soon as he sort of saw that the Undying had abandoned it, as soon as the TPs came in bottom. And he's gotten up to level 7, so Flash has been very efficient with their time, getting lots of levels, getting all their core abilities up. It's still a TA struggling, but it's a game where TA doesn't have to go in first, she doesn't have to be too aggressive, she's got other initiators on the team. Flash showing that your TA can be shut down hard early, but if you pick a lineup that has other heroes who can set up kills, who can create pressure, you can still be in a good position come the mid game. As soon as I look away, KS gets the solo kill and winner, hits the hook, picks up the kill. And now the blink forward by Henkiki with the lasso, going on to FCFC, the tombstone drop. Will it be enough? There is a Ravage, but not being popped just yet. In fact, DSF wants out. He doesn't want to pop that Ravage. Go down to 6 and could steal it if it doesn't stun him, if it doesn't kill him anyway. eweahhh comes in as well, trying to do whatever he can, which is to say not a whole lot. In the end, only the twin-headed dragon dies from this, and now the Batrider goes down as well. Ice Path coming onto eweahhh. eweahhh taking a lot of damage. eweahhh in a bit of a pickle. Remember, there is Ravage still online. Anchor smashing, very afraid of the Rubik stealing it. Still not choosing to use it. Will just go down without ever dropping a Ravage. And now the hook. High ground to low ground, catching out FCFC. Dismember to follow, not rotting. Will he get this kill without the rot? FCFC gets trapped in the trees, blinks into the wrong position, rotted from the high ground, disintegrated by that toxic waste the Pudge is spewing out. And scores now 9-9. Back and forth, but I believe they started to get track kills in that fight, and we see the gold graph stabilizing a bit for N9. Pudge was not there to start the fight, because he did get the kill up top of Bounty Hunter, but I feel they really needed him in that middle lane. If they'd hooked out the Undying so he's not in the middle of that fight, amplifying the damage that everyone's doing through his flesh golem, if he's not auto-attacking with that massive strength, the fight gets easier, and even if he's just hooking away the Rubik so the Tide can Ravage comfortably, not having Chaos really does cost Flash and allows N9 to get a bit back into the game. A blind hook, just fishing for Chaos, not going to find it. Would love to see a lane ward to help him hit these hooks. Generally something you like to see whenever you have a Pudge is not only lane wards, but also a ward up on the hill here. So a ward over towards that lane, and even something up a top lane if you're being aggressive there, which right now they're not, but maybe they will be later. Smoke on the KS, just trying to set up a hook, he misses, immediately rots. Does need to protect that hook, don't want to give it away to godot. You really want to toggle rot the second that you hook, otherwise you do risk giving it up, as I've found to my chagrin many a time. Another hook, another fish, but no bite just yet. And nobody wants the bait. The beautiful thing about the arcane boots, you just keep on going though. FCFC taking lots of damage, and TA, you can see, even slowed down early, pulling a bit of a Ferrari here. Tons of splashes connecting, not enough, and now the action breaks on bottom lane. Ravage on 3. Will anything be stolen by godot? He stole the lasso and now cannot steal the Ravage, and the anchor smash has been used anyway, so that opportunity gone. 2 heroes dead, but it's all said and done. And everyone escapes with their life. Blink, having the blink there on the Batrider as well as hook, just so many forms of initiation from this team. And finally the tier 1 drops, creating space for these gankers to do their thing, to be aggressive. eweahhh has started to catch up, he's gotten his phase boots. More importantly, I think he's hitting level 8, getting close to maxing out the meld. He is their only big source of late game physical damage, so they can't ignore him completely. They will have to make sure that he gets something going. Otherwise, N9, if they are able to get up a BKB on the Queen of Pain or the Bounty Hunter, they can safely ignore most of the damage that Flash has to offer. Blinking onto eweahhh, taking some damage, but the refraction to keep him alive, and instantly the double TP reaction. Ice Path to hit a winner. The trap's getting spammed out. 1 detonates, 2 detonate. And here comes that Flesh Golem, and now the Pudge, the first one caught out of position. Not where he wants to be. The lasso that was stolen by godot, dragging him back. A less manly lasso, but effective nonetheless. And now godot stealing refraction, gonna man mode this one up. And beautiful Queen of Pain ult. FCFC catching out too. eweahhh no refraction for him. He'll go down. Godot next on the DSF, pulling him back. Snowball effect here, and it's track kills that are coming out. 3 heroes dead. It all started with that telekinesis onto Pudge, dragging him into the tombstone.
Middle tower is under attack.
And they get the
Radiant's
tier
middle
1 as
tower
well.
has
Great
fallen.
reactions by N9, and a very back and forth game so far. Close in terms of experience. Bit of a lead still to Flash, but gold-wise, we're at a dead heat. Undying is getting tanky. He's got the mechanism up. Flash have a lot of magical damage. They have a decent amount of burst. But you don't want to stand near Undying for too long in team fights. He hits so incredibly hard when he's in Flesh Column because it's amplifying all the damage that his team does. And you can see how much it is. Up to 20% max damage amp if you're too close to Undying. That means even something like the Queen of Pain ult hits significantly harder. In fact, it's basically like having a level 2 ultimate.
Radiant's
If the
middle
Undying is in
tower
range.
is under
Chaos is
attack.
smoked up, looking to set up something bottom. Gonna sort of take his time, weave around, doesn't want the smoke to be dispelled too soon, not gonna find anything just yet. And Flash seem a little bit rattled, they're not gonna play as aggressively after that fight. Now DSF's Ravage is back up. And the counter initiation for him is something that has to be respected as well. Godot sitting on refraction,
Dire's top tower
hook
is
to
under
fly,
attack.
not gonna latch. Both teams eyeing each other from across the chasm. An annoying little board block here to prevent the movement from Pudge.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And eweahhh continues to do his own thing. He really is struggling in this game. What a difference for him. Last game, just 3 kills solo. Even against 2 heroes, he was still picking up kills on the Nevermore, and even found a 4th one later on towards the bottom lane. And now stymied incredibly hard. And up against the lineup, which cannot easily be burst down once the Undying is big, because he has multiple ways to keep his team alive. Just slowing you down and preventing you from staying in close to do the damage with the Tombstone zombies, having the mech up, having the burst damage heal from the Rip. It's a great hero to counter a burst style lineup, which Flash largely have. Hook in. Oh, Risk almost walks back into it. It's stolen by Godot. Godot has hook, and Chaos might know it. Will he be hooked back in? Godot looking for a hook. Hooks the zombie. Not what he's hoping to hook. Now the zombie's going to work, and Shrek flying through. Tons of damage. DSF to fall next. Pudge on the back foot, can barely even move. Zombies wrapped around his legs, anchors to his ankles, holding him down. And now the TA trying to farm the mid lane. They fought without eweahhh, but I actually don't think it would have mattered. No Ravage in that fight. I don't think that would have mattered either, to be honest. Once N9 get the Tombstone down, once Undying is in his ultimate form, if you haven't already killed, you just have to run. You can't stand against that lineup at this point in the game. Flash probably don't want a team fight. It's weird to say when you have a Pudge, when you have a Tide, especially when you have a Twin-Headed Dragon, arguably the best team fighting support in the game right now. They don't want a team fight. You give Undying a good start, and then once he finally starts getting involved, he was slow to do it. Didn't really join the fights for the first 10 minutes. But once he joins them, things get difficult. Hook coming out from KS. Remember, Rubik has a hook of his own. So Pudge has to be careful. Don't want to get too cocky here. And here comes FC for the backstab. Really farming well. Him and the Undying are...
Dire's top tower
It's
is
a
under
7-3 and
attack.
7 Queen of Pain. It doesn't feel as dominant because he had a lot more help in the mid lane to start, but he's getting things done out in the mid game. Punch hooked in. The hook turned against him. Batrider blinking in. On top of the Ice Wall. There is a Ravage. Will be stolen by Godot. It will be! No, it's not. It's a Gush. Never mind. No Ravage stolen. I was so excited for a moment there. FCFT driving deep for this one. Godot as well, taking tons of tower damage. eweahhh finally arrives, finally joins the fight. Now Risk running, hook blocks, Pudge either hooking the zombie or maybe it was eweahhh, not sure, but either way, not hitting the hero. Queen of Pain takes this as her cue to jump back in. The zombie's really ruining Pudge here. Kind of a counter, just clumping up and cluttering the map and disabling him from hitting those good shots. Actually pushing this Queen of Pain forward. FCFC, no ultimate, or he probably would be diving that tier 2. Knowing there's no Ravage. knowing the lasso is on cooldown. If Godot stole that Ravage, oh boy. But instead, he's gonna steal an Anchor Smash, so some good burst damage for him. Templar Assassin buys a Blink Dagger in the midst of this. Henkiki trying to retreat out, creating a dangerous path for N9 to follow, and they're not going to. Mech to heal them all back up. N9's Death Ball, just so devastating right now. Mainly it's the Undying. The other heroes provide some nice utility, some nice support, but it's mostly coming down to this Tombstone. The zombies repeatedly blocking hooks. The ultimate for him, just amplifying all the burst damage that this team brings to the table. And now they start to pull away a bit. The gold really going their way. The experience, not so much. They are 5-man Dota most of this game. And that is not good for your experience, even in this version. But they're getting towers, they're keeping the pressure up. And even with a Blink Dagger, eweahhh sort of, he's past that window. There's a window around the 10 to 15 minute mark where if you get a Blink Dagger, you can just find solo kills easily on enemy heroes and just instantly turn a 5v5 into a 5v4. But at this point, who are the easy kills? Risk has 900 health, Godot's sitting at 750, but has great defensive capabilities with the Anchor Smash and as well as the Telekinesis. Bounty Hunter with the drums, there's no easy kills. There's no one that TA can burst down, so she's got to look towards the next items. Either the Manta style, or the BKB, or something like the Daedalus. BKB feels a bit mandatory this game. There's a lot of slows, there's still track to go through it, but most of the magical damage will be blocked. Winter scouting things out. He really got shut down in that bottom lane, but you can see that Bounty Hunter is a solo who doesn't care about getting shut down. Eventually, he's going to claw his way back to the game if anything goes well. Godot trying to steal something for that Pudge, gets the Rot, not what he was hoping for. But it'll help him get the kill nonetheless. Blink in, though, onto Winter. They want to pick up this Bounty Hunter. Get rid of those tracks before the fight even begins. He will go down. Henkiki in a bit of trouble. Queen of Paydol blocked by the Refraction, not doing anything. Now the Refraction's gone. Now FCFZ blinking, and there is a Ravage up. There is a Ravage up, but there's not enough damage, and there's an Undying here. Just mauling everyone. Ravage, can it be stolen by Godot? No, he's already got Anchor Smash. Not able to get that. And when it's all said and done, they get the Bounty Hunter. But at what cost? At what cost? In the famous words of AC. Who apparently actually never says that. Or so he claims. So he protests. Scythe of Vice should be coming soon for FCFC. In fact, is this it? It is. Not quite the timing we saw from the Queen of Pain last game. Not quite as impressive as what eweahhh was able to do. But it's still a 22-minute Scythe of Vice. This is very early. And this is bad. This is that long-range initiation. It's trouble for Flash. This could easily set up a team fight victory for N9. In fact, they've already been winning the fights without the Queen of Pain having that Scythe of Ice, and now she's got it. Aghanim Scepter for Undying. Honestly, not an item you see on him too often. Risk jumping in. Or rather, running away. Henkiki is the one to jump in. And Risk will go down. They find a pick off, only the Venomancer. Risk just getting a little bold, getting a little too aggressive. Farming past the river. This is the demilitarized zone. You do not want to cross that. There are a lot of landmines there. There are a lot of hooks. And Shaitan lurks on the high ground. If they can pick the Undying off before the fight starts, prevent him from dropping the Tombstone, prevent him from using that ult, or at least limiting the amount of time he's able to do so for, that's really going to help, but for the moment, they're just not finding it. Force Staff is a very important item this game. When you're up against a hero, when you're up against Undying, you need Force Staff just to be able to get away from the zombies. It'll also help you escape from a lot of these heroes who don't have stuns but have a lot of slows and movement speed abilities. Track, Gale, Poison Stain, Shadow Strike, and Blink, of course, being the main ones. The one thing I worry about for Flash is it's going to be a while before they can really kill the Tombstone quickly. It's got to be the TA who does it. That's their only strong form of physical damage right now. But eweahhh doesn't have many items. This probably is going to be a BKB. I guess there's a chance it could be a Desolator. But in this game, that would be rather greedy, rather bold. when there's already a completed site device in the Queen of Pain. Hook is not going to latch. Chaos looking for that, fishing on the high ground. Not quite able to find it. And now ed9 bunch up at the tower. BKB coming out soon for winner. godot has completed Blink Dagger of his own. Still has Anchor Smash. Still, this is going to make Ravage much easier to steal. Much harder for DSF to actually protect that Ravage, especially lacking a Blink of his own. And he's about to be caught. There's the site device. The slow from the Shadow Strike. Batrider jumps in. A beautiful Ice Path catching out 4. The Ravage as well. Look at the Macro Pyre damage. The Queen of Pain ult doing a decent amount, but everyone on the retreat, on the back foot. Can they bring the Undying down? That's the big question. It looks like eweahhh can do it. He wasn't focused. He showed up late to this fight. Winner finding the kill on the back line of play. Now the track to follow onto DSF. Will this Bounty Hunter come back in? Gale to connect on 2. DSF is going to drop to this. DSF dies. eweahhh has the blink in 1 second. This should be a kill on risk. As soon as the Gale and the poison and the as soon as the Gale wears off. But triple kill eweahhh on the back line of play for Bounty Hunter finds another. Now he's got the blink. In 1 second's time, will he be able to get it? There's another ward place. He blinks the wrong way. eweahhh stymied by the poison damage, just not able to blink. And you can see what a nuisance it is to play Venomancer against this hero. Or to play this hero against Venomancer, I should say. It looked like such a good fight for Flash. A perfect Ice Wall. Or Ice Path, excuse me. Catching out 4 heroes. And then in the end, the Macro Pyre and the Ravage. If they didn't have an Undying with a mechanism, if he wasn't as farmed as he was, that is everybody just instantly dying. Instead, it's a filthy rich Bounty Hunters now sitting at 2,400 gold. Nothing on the courier for him just yet. Looks like eweahhh is getting close to his BKB. I believe this is his Ogre X. It is. So he'll have his BKB soon. Hype is complete on Pudge. Pretty important to have against that Queen of Pain. As well as the Venomancer. Winter. Uh-oh. 4-step forward, and the Firefly ends. Now Hank is tracked for his trouble. Not the ideal gank. Oh, KS. He wants to fish with a shotgun into this barrel. You know, he's tired of using the regular hook. He wants to just get more aggressive and level up his hook play. But so far, just having a lot of trouble finding hooks. The posture from Flash this game is really not how they want to be. They picked a lineup that wants to kill, and they're just not able to find them. KS gets hyped up to start, and the Tombstone already dropped. A beautiful Ice Path again, and the Macro Pyre, but this time Undying has already popped his ultimate. Ravage doing lots of damage, but Flash dropping first. In comes FCFC. 3 heroes dead, 4 heroes dead. The last one in is eweahhh, and eweahhh probably going to die now. Maybe he can turn around and kill up FCFC. No meld, though. And the refraction wears off. It was a buyback from DSF, trying to do whatever he can, which is to say probably give up another track kill. The Bounty Hunter just died, so no more track kills, but yet another kill. 5 heroes dead, and really 6 heroes dead with the buyback. Absolutely a disaster for Flash. They cannot take a fight if Undying drops the Tombstone and gets his ultimate off. It's that simple. The reason they're winning these previous team fights is they're just able to pick off the Undying or drive him back so he can't stand in the fight. The Tombstone's not in the ideal position. But once it is, there's no hope for them. FCFC started off with that beautiful initiation. That's what the Scythe of Ice does for you. It just allows you to get the jump. It allows your Undying to set up shop and go to work. And from there, it's just making wood for him. And the gold graph, the experience graph, finally, they've been stubborn for N9, but they really start to plummet now. Big dip on both of those. BKB coming out soon on FCFC. Godot, Medallion picked up just to aid the Roshan. N9 feeling, compared to what we saw yesterday when they played Tongfu, or maybe that was 2 days ago, excuse me, they feel a lot more decisive in this game. Seems like they have a much better idea of what they want to do. Don't know if it's just the draft being something they're more comfortable with, or just the fact that they had a better start. But even when they won the game against Tongfu, it felt like it took them forever to just go win the game. I doubt it's going to take that long, at least not if they keep on playing like this. 5 heroes smoked up, or not smoked up, just an Invis Bounty Hunter leading the way. 4 heroes behind him though, charging into the jungle, all spotted by this ward. No gem. Would like to see that gem soon. They're ahead by a lot, they have all their items up. Anything at this point is just luxury. There's no core. I guess the pipe. The pipe for the Venomancer, the one item they need. But aside from that, it's all luxury items from here on out. Flash gotta find some pickoffs. They just can't take a 5v5, and it's hard to find them when N9 have this much vision over the map. When they have a Rubik who's stealing Hook, who's got a Blink Dagger, when Queen of Pain and Bounty Hunter are so difficult to bring down. The only real easy kill is the Venomancer, and well, he's about to get that pipe, at which point, not really an easy kill anymore. And if you can't find pickoffs and you can't team fight, the only other option is to try and outfarm your opponents. Unfortunately, Flash just don't really have the Flash farming potential. They don't have an anti-mage with a Battle Fury. They don't have a lone druid who can just split push with a Radiance Bear. Although now that you can't resummon the bear, that's a little bit more dangerous just to give away that golden experience to the enemy team. But they don't have that kind of split pushing potential. No profit on their team. Nothing along those lines. N9 are playing it safe for now. I think the pipe is really it, and now they've got it. So I would expect them to group up now. I think you start knocking down these tier 2s, the one top, maybe the one bottom. Make this Aegis really work and pay off, and don't just sit back on it and let Flash get to a point where they don't have to deal with it anymore. And Undying with an Aegis, I wonder if he comes back, if he respawns after the Aegis pops with all the decay stacks still on him, or if he loses them when he dies. I'm guessing I want to say he probably comes back with
Dire's
them.
bottom tower is under attack.
Still active. And that's going to make him incredibly obnoxious to kill.
Tower has fallen.
In the first life, you might have 2,000 health. The second life, you might even be able to get up to 23, 2,400 or more. eweahhh getting caught out middle lane. This is not going to help them, and this may be cue for N9 to push. eweahhh, though, with the Blink Dagger, or the BKB, is going to try to go to work on godot. The problem is godot has stolen Refraction. Such a pain. Now DSF trying to TP out. Shriek and toss to cancel it, and he'll go down. Not able to escape. eweahhh forced to use that BKB, unable to do anything. Meanwhile in the top lane, Queen of Pain blinking away, Pudge fishing with the whole BKB was popped. But Queen of Pain gets the tier 1, or the tier 2. So another tower for N9. A Tide Hunter down, and no losses, no big losses for them. Not sure what they're waiting for. They have the BKBs, they have the Scythe of Ice, they have the Rubik with his utility items, they got the gem to make sure they can deward as they push. They've got all the team fight items, and they've got the Aegis. It's time to push for N9. Flash don't really have the best late game. I suppose there's not a huge rush, but when you can go and just look to win the game, why wait? Why wait for the Aegis to expire? Why wait and maybe get picked off? And as the game goes later, those buybacks get more expensive. It gets harder to win. Winner getting caught up by a hook. They wanted to go, but this is not really the way they hoped to do it. Winner, though, gonna go down instantly off the bat. Doesn't matter. Will it be enough? Undying going to town. Already up to 1,800 health. Continuing to climb as he spams out those decays. Now up to 1,900. Quickly gonna break that 2,000 barrier, and he'll keep on going. Now they want to protect the tombstone, but I don't think they'll be able to do so with the meld, with the focus fire from the TA. Will bring it down. It was up for quite a while. Was Ravage stolen by godot? This time it was. It was. Blinks in, ravages everyone. Beautiful play by godot. That's 3 heroes dead. That should be 4 once this BKB wears up. Shaitan has the Aegis. Buyback from Jakiro. Can't do anything. Templar Assassin dead. Maybe pop that Aegis. And Shaitan will be forced to pop it. godot with the Blink Dagger. Wonderful play from him. Nothing Tide could do. Waited forever. Even tried to catch godot with it, but godot just on the boundaries, on the fringe of play. Perfect positional play from him. And it turns what was already a fight that was looking good for N9 into an absolute rout. Not sure how many track kills they got though. Bounty Hunter died fairly early in that fight. Still got quite a few from the looks of the gold graph, and now they're going to look to pressure the tower. The tombstone is up again. But it's hard to push high ground, and these heroes are low enough level that they respawn quite quickly. This actually may force N9 back. They do get a tier... Or no, the tier 2 mid was already down. They got the tier 2 top. The hero kills on the track gold, probably still worth it, but N9 won a little bit more. That's why they're sticking around. Pulling in FC into the tower, the BKB is popped as the Rubik throws Pudge up into the air, disabling that Dismember for the moment. Shaitan doing some good damage. The BKBs really allowing them to be aggressive here, tracking onto DSF. Now going to work on the tower, protecting that tombstone as best they can. The Macro Fire already used. The Ravage on cooldown. Surprisingly, N9 without the creep wave forced back for the moment. And pushing against Shakiro, just such a pain in the butt. 1 nuke, 2 nukes, the entire creep wave dead. Full health to nothing. Even if you have a mech and a pipe, it's probably still going to melt to a macro fire. 140 damage over 7 seconds. Almost 1,000 damage by the time that's complete. If you tank the full 7-second duration, of course before reduction, but for the creeps that doesn't matter. So now bottom lane, eweahhh looking to defend this. Tidehunter backing him up, but it's a Tide without a Ravage backing him up. Not much in the way of backup for him. Has to be careful. The BKB still on cooldown for winner. N9 playing this patiently, playing this slow, just sieging it out. They don't really have the kind of initiation Flash does with that blink into a lasso, with that blink or with that hook that can come out from the pudge. So they have to choose their spots a bit more wisely. It's only the Queen of Pain who can really jump in. This is going to help a lot though. Managing to get the track on a hanky key, although I was looking. Oh, just when I changed vision, it stopped showing the buff. Okay. Thought track wasn't there anymore for a second. And that's gonna force them back. Winter. Tower actually last hit by Risk, not by Winter, and now they're gonna look to go high ground. They have to pipe back up, they have the Tombstone, they have the Ravage again for godot. He still held on to it through this all. Never actually died. That's really gotta put Flash on in a defensive position. They cannot look to fight whatsoever. They really couldn't before anyway, but now they definitely can't clash. They gotta wait this Ravage out, which is only level 15 on the Rubik, so he doesn't have the level 3 ult. So it's gonna expire relatively soon. Otherwise he'd have it for another minute. I almost wonder if N9 just wants to... Flash aren't gonna wait. I don't know if they know godot still has Ravage. This could end very poorly for them if they don't. Let's see how aggressive they get. Smoke, gonna be revealed. Hank Kiki knows they're all mid. Do they go in here? Do they try to get a pick off? Remember, godot, Ravage. No. Wait a second. Did he steal it again?
Radiant's middle tower is under
Did I just miss godot stealing Ravage again? That cooldown definitely refreshed. He did, I guess, and Blake's in, ravaging Hank Kiki, pulling him back in. Hank Kiki taking a lot down to the ice path, doing nothing really because there's BKBs everywhere, as well as the pipe. Ravage this time from the Tidehunter, trying to help out, trying to turn this fight around. FC tanking the tower, tanking tons of stuff, and Shaitan dropping low, incredibly low in fact, but still not dying. 2 heroes dead for Flash. Ravage is used on both sides. And finally, they will pick off Rubik, who got a little sloppy, and Venomancer next. Really sloppy play from N9, losing 2 heroes when they could have just put pushing mid, and now they're forced back. It's a 3-on-3. Or maybe not. FC jumps in, has the Shivas, has another item up. eweahhh trying to hide inside a meld, now trying to turn around one of these heroes down. Aggression from FC. And Shaitan slowly healed himself back up, slowly trying to get back into this fight, and he's ready to go again. He's got the Tombstone in 5 seconds, he's got the ult in 15. Little bit low on HP. I guess he's going for Scythe of Vice then. Figured that would be something he would go for rather than the Queen of Pain, but it works decently for FC. They don't have much in the way of physical damage. Bounty Hunter is okay. Queen of Pain's decent. What they do have is plenty of nukes. Plenty of disables, plenty of crowd control. Really sloppy. If they hadn't given up those 2 kills, pretty sure they claim Rex there. At least they make it a lot harder for Flash to defend. Still, the track gold, as well as the towers, continue to drop. N9 with a very comfortable position in this game. And it's still a game that Flash don't really want to take a team fight. It's just, even without Ravage being stolen, the only way they're going to win a fight, as it's been the case before, is getting a pick, preferably of one of these key heroes. The Rubik, the Undying, the Queen of Pain, and to a lesser extent, I would say the Bounty Hunter, because at this point he's mostly just there to spam track, which gives you a lot of gold, but doesn't do a huge amount to get you kills, just the move speed for that. They gotta prevent this Rubik from getting a Ravage again. Without a blink on Tide, it's so difficult to do. Otherwise you can just jump on top of him, and unless he's got godlike reactions and immediately blinks away from the Ravage, you stun him, you anchor smash, you're good to go. Hanky Key has the Force Staff, and he's had it for a long time. That's the other way to get tied into the fight, but not as reliable as a Blink Dagger. Roshan dropping low. N9's been working on this for a while. The Medallion's helping out. You can see the real lack of physical damage on this team, even with the Medallion. It takes forever. And they're going to jump in and look to go here. Batrider catching out FCFC. Winner grab the Aegis in time as this fight kicks off. Look at the Jakiro doing tons of damage. FCFC finally pops that BKB, but so late into the fight. Throwing out the ult, going to work. Bounty Hunter still has the Aegis. Bounty Hunter still alive. Hook doing some decent work there. Not enough though. Godot just stealing that hook again. Just really nice play by him. DSF going down. Now on to eweahhh. 4 heroes dead. Soon to be a team wipe as the track is here. And an absolute disaster for Flash. Tried to track the Aegis, but just a bit late with the Batrider jump in. I don't even know if they win the fight, even if they get the Aegis, but definitely not without it. That was not a good fight to take, and it was a nice macro pyre. It did a lot of damage. Gem on the ground. Looks like they missed it. Or just don't care about it. But they're in position to try and end this game. Bounty Hunter strikes again. Bounty Hunter wins again. That's going to be the story of this one if N9 go on to claim it, and they look to be in a good position. Bounty Hunter, as far as I remember, if he's not undefeated, he's lost maybe one game to IG in this entire event so far. And in this version, is quickly proving himself to be the premier offlane solo. Not for his laning potential, but for what he brings to the table in the mid game. So hard to avoid giving up those track kills. Hooking Godot hooking out Winner just to help keep him alive, but probably not what he was really looking to do. The tombstone drop, Zombie starting to go to work. eweahhh with the BKB, just not doing enough damage. Rubik has stolen something. This time it's Refraction. Sitting on 10 seconds cooldown for that ult. Ravage cooling down for a full minute, so not going to be able to steal that. As Tidarn has used many gushes, many anger smash. Shatan actually being driven back. N9 getting caught out of position and just not able to take this fight. FCFC. No ult for him. They're lacking that burst damage. Now the Bounty Hunter falling next in line. Is Flash really turning this game around? Being down 25,000 gold and 25,000 experience. Well, they haven't gotten racks. They haven't even knocked down the tier 2s. But hell, they defend the base. They defend the racks. And they get a couple kills. That's really going to help catch them up in terms of the experience. The gold's still no track for them. So that's a long way off. Bit of a sloppy fight for N9. They weren't fighting with the Queen of Pain ultimate. The Undying kind of abandoned. He went for a Shiva, so not going for a Scythe Device. Now the Shivas are slow, does not stack. I'm not sure this is the best choice, to be honest. I would have liked to see the Undying go for a Scythe Device, and then the Queen of Pain. Maybe just go for a damage item, something like an MKB, something like a Daedalus, something just to be that physical presence in these fights. And also, FCFC really needs to be careful about when he's popping his BKB. We saw at the fight near Roshan, he got it off so late that it almost lost him the fight. It almost got him killed, and he didn't have Aegis there. He was able to pop it at the nick of time. He was able to get his ult off, but it's now getting down to a 5-second charge. So it's not going to be. He's not going to be that sustainable. And when the BKB's down, they have the chain stun and the nukes, the lockdown to deal with him. N9, not sure how to close out this game, it looks like. They're going to go back and farm. Fortunately for them, Flash doesn't have a hero that necessarily is going to just flat out win if he gets enough farm. There's no Anti-Mage, there's no Faceless Void, there's no Obsidian Destroyer. There's no hero that just scales so well into the late game that if you give him a farm, he's unkillable, he's unstoppable. But there is a TA who gets a little bit... She has this interesting power curve where if you get enough items late game, she becomes pretty damn scary. She doesn't quite have the mobility of other heroes, but she has so much burst damage. Sort of like a Morphling with an Ethereal Blade, at least in the old patch, where you can just instantly look to kill heroes off. Instantly look to start a fight on the right note. N9 trying to smoke up and look to go, but Flash are prepared for this. They have the Sentry Ward down. They're waiting to see if N9 are going to actually come into the base. They thought there might be a smoke heading their way. And the smoke wears off. The jig is up. It's going to be a straight-on fight. FCFC sitting on 6k, excuse me, 5.3k gold. Pipe gets forced out. Tombstone probably going to be dropped soon. The Ice Pad not connecting. That's a bit of an issue here. Scythe Device just to slow down Batrider used very preemptively, and now the hook back in onto FCFC. No Dismember though. BKB is coming out. Shiva's guard popped by him. Ravage flies, and look at the damage, look at the AoE, those BKBs are not up anymore, they're down. Godot only able to steal Anchor Smash, does not get his hands on Ravage, doesn't matter though. The chasing power, the burst damage coming through the Bounty Hunter, they sort of overwhelm Flash, and now they're looking to claim the rack. And with this, with no buyback on the Pudge, with no buyback on the Tidehunter, and no Ravage for him anyway, this might be game. Or not, they're gonna really play it safe, not even thinking about that second lane of racks. They don't have the creeps in the base, at least not in these lanes. But you would have the backdoor protection online. And there's no Pudge. There's only one way to initiate, and that's jump in with the lasso. Well, N9, nothing if not a team that will play it safe. And they're going to play it safe here. That's a data list for Queen of Pain, so finally going back for that big damage item. Now, the crit's probably going to be at that 700, 800 mark if she's able to hit them. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage for a hero like Pudge with 4 armor. Even a Jakiro, only sitting on 8. Batrider, although he's got the increased strength gain in this version, still an intelligence hero. Physical damage can really work to shut down Flash. Even Bounty Hunter was going to work with the Manta style by the end of that fight. Has so much innate DPS, so item independent because of Janata. But scales well with the items if he's able to get them. Looks like Risk's had a gem for a while. Doing some warding. And N9 just getting ready for that second push right as the fight breaks out. Scythe of Vice to start it off on MLG. He'll get picked off. He'll get brought down almost immediately from the looks of it. eweahhh popping his BKB as well. It's going to wear off momentarily, and now he's on the run. Now he's TPing out. Just an absolute disaster. Hard to run for Bounty Hunter. Hard to run for Queen of Pain. Let's see if KS can TP out. Nope. No TP cooldown for him. He's trapped. He's screwed. Pudge in a box. Pudge in a corner. Pudge doing a lot of damage, in fact, but not quite enough. Now FCFC. Blinking forward. And it looks like, with that team fight going their way, with, let's see, how many buybacks do they have? That's 0 buybacks, aside from the Templar Assassin who's not actually dead. That should be enough for N9 to get a second lane of racks. Oh, sorry, I missed Shakira. I guess he just got it. Yeah, just got it. Didn't have it a second or two ago. Now the Ice Path coming out. Track onto the Shakira. Just... Will this actually force N9 back? They are up 5-3 right now. They've got the Scythe device and all these damage items. The Queen of Pain. Look at that damage! Critting for almost 900, even more than I expected it would be. Thanks to the track minus armor. Really amping things up, and MLG just can't do anything. Just waiting for that Ice Path. Trying to slow this push down. Only catching out Winter. Godot steals Sticky Napalm. Just a cheeky little spell. Not the best one, but a nuisance of a spell, especially for a hero like TA. And finally N9 gonna claim that second lane of racks, leading by such a massive margin. Virtually impossible for Flash to crawl back into this game. A dominating display in game 1 for Flash, and then in game 2 it's N9 who just pick the Undying and really abuse his teamfight presence to... FCFC getting caught out. Can they kill him? No. Oh no. Oh, that is so frustrating. Nice hook by the Pudge. But it's looking to be N9 who take game 2, and that's going to put them with 2 points in the group and Flash with 1 point, but Flash only having played 1 series has that potential to do a little bit better or a little bit worse depending on how that second series goes. If N9 can at least get a win, if they can beat another team with a win, then I think they pretty much guarantee themselves the advance. But if they're only getting ties or if they get a loss after this game, that could put them in dire straits. I really like this format where there's only a couple of teams that get eliminated in the group stages, only 1 from each group. Because it means that we get to see most of these teams again in the playoffs, but at the same time, there's still some tension to the group stage. There's still something to fight for, and it's not just... Well, here comes the smoke gang. Flash, one last hurrah for them, down 2 lanes of Rex. Gotta make this fight work. They're gonna start off with Godot tanking a lot, but FCFC is here. FCFC is strong, and Rubik steals Ravage. Rubik steals Ravage. Godot again, second time this game with a BKB. That's how he did it, and that will prompt Flash to call the GGs. The last hurrah, not quite enough. Godot with the BKB, just impossible to get a good Ravage off. Turns the Tidehunter against them, and Godot, probably the MVP of this game. Really impressive support Rubik play, stealing Ravage, stealing the lasso, stealing hook, and making it work. Although there are a few zombie hooks for both Pudges, for both hookers in this game, I should say. And yes, that was an intentional pun. So this game will be a 1-1 score. Official GGs come out from Flash. Each team will get 1 point. Flash, their first tie. Haven't played any other series yet. For N9, their second tie. So they've tied the two easier teams in the group. Now they've got to face off against the toughies. They got to play Orange. They got to play DK. And those are not going to be easy opponents to defeat.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And if they lose those two games, it's going to be real tough. They might actually get knocked out of the group. But we'll have to find out. That's another story for another day. That does it for this particular series, where it will be Flash Esports in the end, losing game number 2, a 1-1 score for your final result. That puts Flash at 1 point, N9 at 2 points. 2 games completed for N9, 1 game completed for Flash. And we're done for this particular game. We will be coming back to you guys a bit later today. EG versus SQL, the rematch is coming up. But that's not for a good 2 hours or so. That's not until 8 p.m. SGT, 8 a.m. EST, and you guys can do the math from there. So we have 2 hours, guys. Then it's going to be EG versus SQL, the sequel. How appropriate that SQL is almost like an abbreviation for sequel. For anyone who missed that series, I think it's actually a great time for you guys to go try and catch up on the VODs. They're too long for me to show them both, but if you guys want, maybe I'll play them while we have a bit of a break before that series happens. We can at least get through one of the games. Both of them were epic. Games 1 and 2, and then game 3, not so much, but if you're not familiar with Famofu's Feeding Fan Club, or Throw Fan Club, which is the alternative name for SQL, Sequential Gaming, you should check those games out. Try and give yourself a bit of a hype, a little bit of preview heading into that match. That will wrap it up for Flash for N9, though. So for now, that's going to do it for this broadcast. Stay tuned, hang around if you'd like. We'll probably play back some of those great moments from EG versus SQL from the qualifier stage. You've been watching the G1 League group stage. This is day 4 of our action. We'll actually take a look at the standings now. The only thing that should be updated here is this most recent result. So N9 now sitting at 2-2. Flash Esports at 1-1. 2 points for N9, 1 point for Flash Esports. But these are our standings for our group. So Invictus Gaming just dominating, crushing their way for Group A. Looks like they'll probably go undefeated the rest of the way. LGD had a tough time for them, and they're not tied 1-1. I don't know why it says that. I forgot to update that on the overlay, but obviously Invictus in first place, LGD in second. And then Evil Geniuses haven't played yet, so by not playing, they have an opportunity to be in third, but we'll see if they're able to stay there. That's the group stages for now. That's where we are in the game, in sort of the tournament. We have a lot more matches to come, about a week and a couple of days left of group stage play before it's all said and done. Then the online playoffs, then the LAN finals to follow over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. But that will wrap it up for this game. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I'm LD. I hope you enjoyed this cast. You've been watching me on the summit. And stay tuned. More G1 League action, EG versus SQL coming up in 2 hours' time.